Hey, it's day 90. Well, I was planning to, I was planning to reflect on each of the month progress on each 30 days, but unfortunately, I did reflect it on the last video, so I guess that's not gonna be a rule for my channel. Although I'm tired and it's late at night, I will try to be as energetic as possible. I'm not faking my energy, but I will try to utilize the remaining energy that I have to basically talk and put it into this video. I do notice that whenever I'm feeling little bit of sleepiness or tiredness, I tend to be really boring or really just sleepy and talking a bland voice. Although my ability to think and my speed of my talking speed does decrease when I'm tired or when I'm sleepy like this. The thing that I could control is my pronunciation, the energy that I put into my speech. I think that it should be manageable, uh, unless I'm too exhausted or something. Yeah. You know what? I will talk and I will maybe speculate about why does no. I will try to explain why does our talking speed decrease when we are tired, and why and how do different people have different thinking speed? Because it's obvious that some people think slower, but it's also obvious that there are people that think at a higher speed, that have high that think faster than normal people. So I think the explanation for you, my eyes are dry, so the wind just hitting on my eye and it just burns. The reason why we think slower, make worse decision, and just less energetic later in the day in comparison to in the morning is our brain our brain operates by releasing chemicals through the neurons pathway, and there's also electrical there are also concepts as related electrical and how our brain operated too, but it's will be mostly chemical between the synapse of the neurons, and synapse is basically the connections of different kind of neurons, and our brain have 76 around more than 70 billion neurons, which is insane. So neurons are basically a cell that store information inside our brain, and there's neural pathway and the connection between two neurons or synapses. Basically, what happened is the chemical from one neuron transmitted to another neurons. Let's say there's neuron A and there's neuron B. So signal that transmitted from neuron A comes down to the path, and at the synapse that connect between neuron A and neuron B, the synapse work and transfer the electrical signal by releasing chemicals such as, based on my memory, maybe natrium, such as uh, I don't know the English name. K, maybe sodium. I don't know. Like I don't even know natrium. I don't even know it's natrium is pronounced is spelled. It's said right. I gotta search about the chemical terms later. So basically, it's release chemicals into the fluid environment of our brain to transfer the electrical signal from neuron A to neuron B, and in that process, and in that process, the synapse does expand part of the chemical that's stored inside it, and this, of course, and although there's a mechanism in our brain to recover those nutrients, nah, chemicals, retrieve those chemical back into the synapses, that would take time, and it isn't 100% perfect either. There is waste inside the process, albeit small. So when we think normally, our brain basically fire millions of neuron signal decides lots of our neurons. I don't know if there's millions kind of signal, billions, maybe billions, or maybe even trillion. Trillion is really too much though. The sig this and I mean the signal between different kind of neurons will be fired repeatedly, and that will expand lots of chemicals inside the synapses, and the later in the day. So because we use that repeatedly, the synapses aren't really able to retrieve all those chemical back, thus make trans the speed that the signal transfer from neurons A to neuron B slower, and that happens to tons of neurons in our brain at the same time. And throughout the day, the more we're awake, and the more we use our mental energy for different tasks, different tasks like working, studying, working out, things that are and energy consuming, that consume lots of our focus and mental energy. That's gonna that's gonna generate more waste, and um expand the chemicals that store inside the synapses. So later in the day, the synapses aren't as efficient as early in the day. Due to that, because the brain has accumulated more waste, and the synapses storage was not really dried out but was reduced. And I think, I guess, there's no scientific proof yet, because I'm still a dumb one. It's just my thought. I think one of the reasons why different people have different thoughts is partly because of this, because of the synapse structure in people's brain and the chemicals that possibly stored in the synapses. People with the ability to store more synapses would be able to think and focus for longer. And it's also a fact that there is layer that's cover around the synapses. No, not around the synapses, but it was the path between different kind of neurons, axiols or something. Yeah, I kind of forgot the name. I gotta learn about that again. Um, Basically, the coding between the neuron pathway make the signals much faster than the normal motor neuron pathway. So that also helps. So people that think faster, I think they should have the ability to coat more neurons. They related to their genetic, of course, coats their neurons to store neurons and have better waste cleaning system. But we shouldn't amount that thinking based speed. Oh yeah, and that's why I'm just talking about genetic right here, and that should be more reasons why some people think faster than other people, and genetically there are still probably way more reasons than this, but there's also influence and action from their past and their actions or habit too. But I think this also explains why people that's familiar to a field or who's focused on a field can talk about their field so freely, so fast, so fluently. But when they try to talk about other field or different kind of subjects, they would stumbled and stuttered because they don't know what to talk. They are not used to the subject, and basically they're able to talk about their subjects because there's more data that's in the brain, and the coding on the neurons pathway is much more robust, so they're able to think about that more rapidly to be able to convey that through their speech. I think I kind of oh I mean I kind of drone in. I didn't really pay attention to the time limits, so I should pay that in the future. Yeah, I'm sleepy right now. That's it for day 90. See you in day 91.